Future Makers.
Let's make Eyelusions. In this FutureMakers Spark, your learners will create a motorized thaumatrope, a spinning disc that blends two images into one. They'll build a motorized spinner, design image pairs, and discover how their eyes can be fooled into seeing something that isn't actually there, an optical illusion. Here's what each learner receives to make an Eyelusion. A set of 3 foam components, a AA battery, a motor, a sturdy paper tube, a set of 6 stickers, an instruction sheet, and a reusable reclosable bag. We encourage you to print an Eyelusions practice sheet for each learner so they can experiment before building. You'll need to provide pencils and markers or crayons for drawing, scissors, and have sticky notes, tape, or scrap paper on hand once their circle stickers run out. Start with your foam pieces, 2 rectangular bases, and the long motor holder strip. Stack the rectangular bases with their slots lined up. The battery fits into the larger opening. Press it down through both layers. This holds the bases together. Insert the motor through the opening in the long foam strip. The foam grips the motor body to hold it in place. With wires facing down and the motor facing up, press the ends of the motor holder all the way into the slots on either side of the battery. Test your motor by touching the metal of each wire to the battery terminals, one on each end. You may need to gently stretch the foam to get full contact between the wire and the metal. Once both wires make contact, the motor will spin. It doesn't matter which wire touches which end. Reversing them just changes the direction the motor turns. Thaumatropes work because one image is divided into 2 parts, and doing this takes planning and practice. We've created a planning sheet so that your learners can sketch their ideas before making their images spin. There's 3 ways to split an image using the dotted guidelines, and each one is spicier than the next. Pencils are encouraged here. Top and bottom designs appear above the horizontal guideline on one and below the line on the other. On the spicy scale, this one's mild. Left and right uses the vertical guideline to create images on the left and the right. This is a medium spicy technique. Opposite corners, the top left paired with the bottom right, or the top right with the bottom left, splits the image diagonally. This is the spiciest technique. The planning sheet is where mistakes are welcome. Learners can experiment freely, then pick the design they want to transfer to their stickers. Once they have a pair they think will work, they can put them on stickers with pencils. We'll practice with this smiley face. On one sticker, draw just the top half, the eyes. On the second sticker, draw the bottom half, the mouth. Once learners are happy with their sketch, they can trace over it with markers or crayons. The darker the image, the more visible it will be when it spins. Attach one sticker to the paper tube. Flip the tube over and attach the second on the back. Alignment matters. Make sure top stays at top and bottom stays at bottom on both sides. To attach the tube, hold the motor body firmly and press down onto the connector until it sits straight and secure. Touch the wires to the battery terminals and watch 2 images become one. Your learners have built a motorized thaumatrope. The name comes from Greek words meaning wonder turner. When images change faster than your visual system can process, your brain fills in the gaps, blending what it sees into a single picture that isn't actually there. This same principle is why cartoons and movies work. Thaumatropes were one of the earliest toys to demonstrate this, and they led directly to the invention of animation and film. Invite your learners to try each technique and not worry if it doesn't work. Attempting to use a spicier technique is always worth it. Encourage them to seek the help of others who have working examples if they get stuck. Once learners use up their stickers, they can use sticky notes or even cut out and tape examples from their practice sheet to create bigger, more unique illusions. The metal ends of the wires may bend, making it hard to insert them alongside the battery. If this happens, lift up on the battery, hold the wire in position, and press both down into the foam together. If the tube is off-center, the whole base will vibrate. A little movement is normal, and learners love it when their machines slowly wiggle around the table. If the tube end is mushed or bent, trim it straight with scissors. If the connector cap comes loose from the motor, stick a tiny piece of tape on the motor shaft and press the cap back on. The tape adds friction to hold it in place. If the motor won't spin, but the wiring is correct, check that it hasn't moved out of place in the motor holder. Learners can use their project over and over again. What images will they create? What about this and this? Or this and this? Maybe even this and this? Here's a challenge that leads to unexpected results. One learner creates the top half of one image. Another learner creates the bottom half without seeing each other's work. When they combine their drawings, the results are often hilarious. This is a great way to get learners collaborating and laughing together. Congratulations on making an Eyelusion. Every spark your learners make is unique and theirs to keep. Have fun.